Very interesting session today. There was a question last week also, and let's repeat it. Have you heard of anything said by Buddha about ego? What has Buddha said about ego? Any quotes? Anything that you can think of? Let us explore ego with the wisdom of Buddha. For that, is there a quote that you have come across that is attributed to Buddha on ego? Interestingly, Buddha rarely spoke about ego. Instead, he offered a path to dissolve it. Many times, interpretations happen by various teachers, various seekers, and they attribute those interpretations to Buddha. So, how does one dissolve the ego? The answer lies in understanding the wisdom of anathema, the most misunderstood term, anathema. Let's explore it. Welcome to this world of the wisdom of anathema. It has nothing to do with the word Atma that we use in Hindu philosophy. First, let's start with what is ego, identity, or I am-ness, or overall personality. I am so and so, the personality, whatever the image that I have about myself. This is nothing but ego, right? Or, in other words, anything and everything that defines you. It could be anything and everything that defines you. That is my identity, I amness, personality. What are the things? If you ask, who am I? The mind thinks it in this way. It's a bundle of memory. It's just a bundle of memory. Aggregates means a kind of bundle, a heap. Identities, whatever I identify with. I might be identifying myself with, say, the job I am doing, the designation that I have in my job, or with my nationality, religious identity, social identity, with the gender, with anything, with the language, the regional identities, anything that I am identified with. The perceptions, whatever the perceptions I have about myself, is nothing but my image, my ego, beliefs, the entire belief system that I carry, values, the value system. This is good, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong, etc. The views, opinions, guesses, whatever I have, the habit patterns and judgments. I know this, I know that, the knowledge. I do this, I do that, the capabilities, the actions. I am this, I am that. Status, power, fame, wealth. In general, a personality or an image that is identified with above qualities. So this is I am-ness, right? Or in other words, the ego that the mind carries. Is there anything else that you feel exists? If it's there, just add to this list. And then this is I am, and there are my experiences. The experiences, as we have been discussing, it happens at two levels. One is on the body, the sensations on the body, and the other one, emotions in the mind, the thoughts and emotions in the mind. In this moment, these are all different types of emotions and sensations. Even the body, if I explore, is this body I, or is it just an experience? Contemplating on it. How do I know I have the body in the first place? How do I know it's so and so? It is through the sensations and inquiry. So today's session is not at all intellectual, just like most of our sessions. It is more of experiential, directly witnessing, exploring. So 100% involvement is required. Otherwise, it will just pass through. It's not a lecture, it is involvement. What is that inquiry? It is seriously looking at ourselves and seeing what is happening here. We have been trained to understand what is happening in the world around us. We have been trained to understand, read and understand the book and the philosophies and so many other things, the science, technology, etc. But this is all about understanding this entity. I am-ness, whatever I think I am, whatever I think that ego is, personality. So we saw what all things are consisted of, that whatever what makes whatever the elements that we listed, what all makes something called I or ego or personality. What part of you is truly you? Just inquiring, asking ourselves, am I my beliefs, my perception, my views, my value system, my knowledge, my ability to do the things? What am I? What part of me is truly me? Exploring it. Is it your body, your thoughts, or your memories? So, in this session, all we are trying to do is self is nothing but you can take it as ego, just to avoid the confusion. Ego or identity, or whatever I consider myself. I amness. It is a process, not a fixed identity. It keeps changing. Everything that I identify with has changed in the past 20 years, in the past 50 years, since my birth. It has been changing. My views have changed, my perceptions have changed, my belief systems have changed, my value system has changed, my knowledge has changed, my ability to do things have changed. Everything what I think I am has changed. So it is a process that is evolving or changing. Evolving in the sense not improving, but changing. Certain things will be so-called improvements, and certain things will come up. Not a fixed identity. we consider it as it as a fixed identity. That's how the mind works. It works based on the assumption that I have been same as I am this and this forever in the past and in future. Another one, just inquire, who are you when you are angry versus when you are calm? At some point in time, I've been angry, exploring it. And at some other point in time, I'm calm. There is calmness. Who are you in those two states, in those two versions? And which version is a real you? Is it angry or calm? What do you think?
Both. Since we're identifying with both, I think we should be both.
Okay. Any other thoughts?
Percentage of goodness and percentage of badness also.
Percentage. Yes. Partially
Depending
yes.
on our situation, circumstances, who is talking to you, somebody is triggering you, or you're able to calm to them. I found some people, they keep triggering. We try to calm ourselves, but sometimes you lose. Some people, even if you feel anger, you are very calm around them. So, depending on the circumstance and situation.
Wonderful. Okay.
Neither angry nor calm.
Neither angry nor calm. They are passing states of mind. Let's see. Wonderful. So it's the intention is to inquire what exactly is happening. It is just the beginning. We'll continue. Somebody wanted to say something, please? I'm sorry, I just missed that. Okay. The intention, there's nothing right, wrong, good, bad. So in this session, it is inquiry. We are inquiring into ourselves using this mind. We just have this mind as the tool that is available to us. And with that mind, we are trying to explore something which is beyond mind. All right, one more. What do you cling to as me or mine? And how does it feel when it's threatened or lost? For example, if I am clinging to myself as so and so, for example, an engineer, as an engineer, or as a yoga teacher, or something that I do, whatever it could be. How does it feel when it is threatened or lost? My position is lost, or my knowledge, whatever I think I have, I recognize it is too less in the field of yoga teaching, or the technology has changed, and whatever I had learned, it has become waste. It has become outdated. How does it feel? Or general image, I am a nice person, I am a good person. When that image is threatened, somebody says you are very bad, how does it feel like? You are a stupid. Just reflecting upon what do I identify with, and how does it feel when it is threatened or lost. So the point is, the more I identify with something, there is more fear of losing it. I can't lose it. I can't tolerate losing it. It could be my view, it could be my opinion, my identity, anything, nationality, religious identity. It could be anything that I believe in. When somebody proves that whatever I believe is wrong, I'm just losing it, right? That threat I feel, and there will be agitation, there will be anger associated with it. So just reflecting upon that. So in other words, we become angry or threatened whenever my identity gets a beating. Whatever I think I am, that I am-ness, is taken away or lost, then I feel angry towards it, towards the situation, or even towards myself. Let's continue to explore, but let's come to today's important point. The 5 aggregates of clinging. There are 5 elements that happen, that are continuously happening with every experience that we have. Let's see. Tasting of ice cream, for example. These are the 5 aggregates. Aggregates means they are called as Khandhas in Pali, that Buddha used, or in Sanskrit, the word used is skandhas. These are the 5 aggregates. Aggregates means a kind of heap, collections. The point is, we have been made up of the heap or the aggregates, the collections, whatever we collected throughout our life since our birth. What are those 5 aggregates? How they are running the show of our life. And these 5 aggregates define what is my personality, human being as a human personality itself. The first one is the contact. And to explore all this, we use 3 important elements. What are those 3? I call them as API. As an engineer, API is an important term. The 3 foundational qualities. What are they? A for awareness, P for presence or energy in this moment, I for inquiry or investigation or exploration, API. We apply this for everything that we do. So the first one, what happens? The tongue comes in contact with the ice cream. We are going through the tasting of ice cream. This is the experience, okay, that we are going to have now. Tongue comes in contact with ice cream. That's it. What happens next? Immediately, a sensation arises in the mouth. How is it? If it is ice cream, it will be a pleasant sensation. Right? And then there arises a perception about the ice cream. This is clear recognition of the experience of tasting. If this is chocolate ice cream, it clearly defines the experience, the perception. As soon as that perception is formed in the mind, there appears a reaction to that perception. It's a mental reaction which says, yeah, let me have more of it, a kind of craving for more. Or in a different way, if it is chocolate ice cream and if you don't like it, but you expected it to be something different. As soon as you taste, there is a feeling like it is not chocolate, it is unpleasant, right? And then you recognize this is chocolate which you don't like, in fact. And then there is a reaction of irritation. Why they are having chocolate ice cream here, which I don't like? They should have given me options, at least one more option, maybe vanilla or strawberry or butterscotch. So, based on my individual personality, as soon as there is a contact, there is a sensation, pleasant, unpleasant. It's not in my control, it automatically happens. And then there is a perception. If it is, if I like it, if I dislike it, and the stories behind that chocolate that run in the mind. And then immediately there will be reaction. As soon as perception is formed, there will be reaction. Either indulging into it or resisting it, or avoiding it. And then there is a consciousness of it all, awareness of the whole tasting experience. With every experience, with every contact, this show is running. And these five parts make a human personality. These are the five elements. And all these five are not fixed. They are all arising, passing away, arising, passing away. The contact arises, passes, arises, passes away, arises, passes away. In the same way, as soon as there is a contact, a sensation arises, and then it passes away. Again, some other contact arises, sensation arises, it passes away. Perception happens, it passes away. Reaction happens, it passes away. Consciousness happens, it passes away. In the sense, it shifts to the next contact. The contact happens through any of the five sense doors we have, any of the five sense organs. We are talking about here one, which is taste sensation. It can be with any of the five. It could be with seeing, hearing, or smelling, or touching, with any of the five. And also there is a sixth one, which is the mind itself. We'll take one more example of it. In this entire process, what am I, or who am I? What do I identify with? Am I the contact that is arising and passing away? Am I the sensation, or perception, or reaction, or consciousness? This leads to wisdom of Anatma. Let's continue to explore it. Okay. We'll take one more example. See, whatever we saw just now, it's applicable to all other sensory organs. For example, a sound is heard. As soon as sound is heard, it's a contact between ear and the sound. Right? As soon as there is a contact, what happens? A sensation arises. Suppose it is a soothing song, soothing sound. It's a pleasant sensation. If it is some noise that I don't like, it's unpleasant sensation. And immediately perception is built about that sound. It recognizes clearly and makes sense out of that sound. Oh, okay, this is a good song. Okay, this is disturbing the noise. As soon as the perception is formed, there is a reaction. If it is a good one, I might think of listening to it. Okay, nice song. If it is bad, I might try to avoid it, blame it. Why these people are making this kind of a sound? It is disturbing me. And then all this gets registered as a consciousness. These are the five elements happening. Five faculties are running the show with every sense contact, whether we are conscious or not. What about the sixth one? The mind itself. Let us take an example. A memory of being treated unfairly. Suppose we were treated unfairly some time back. There is a memory associated with it. And as soon as that is triggered, a thought arises, remembering, oh, okay, I was treated unfairly at this place at that time. As soon as we see some place or remember that place, and it leads to a reaction of anger. Let's see how it's happening. Again, the five aggregates. A memory of being treated unfairly just triggers a thought as soon as the mind comes in contact with that memory. A thought is triggered. What happens? As the memory flashes up, a feeling arises which is unpleasant because I was treated unfairly, badly. There is a sense of pain, hurt feeling. And what happens at the perception level? There is more clarity. It recognizes that event and says, this was unfair. This should not have treated me in this way. It adds clear meaning to the raw feeling we receive from sensations. And then immediately there is a mental reaction, judgments, emotions are formed. There is an anger, resentment towards that person who caused it. The stories behind it, the blame game starts. This person should not have done that. That person should not have done that. And self justification. I did so and so because of these reasons, and they mistook it. In this way, there will be continuous flow of these five elements. And then finally, there is awareness of the mental event at a high level. Just we become aware of it. And this registers the experience. Without our knowledge, it's happening with every thought, leading to so many things. And again, we are using the same APIs, three foundational qualities. And again, all these five elements are arising, passing away, arising with every experience, passing away after every experience. Right? Now, let's explore these five aggregates. What are those five aggregates? The contact, the sensory contact or mental contact. Those, any of those five plus mind. There seems to be some disturbance. Let me mute. And then perception. There is something called reaction, habitual reaction. It mostly happens automatically. And then consciousness. Remembering none of these five are stable. And exploring none of these are me. There is nothing to identify with any of them. Let's reflect upon it. Are any of these truly permanent? When we explore with any experience, it's all arising and passing away very quickly. As we are eating, as we are smelling, as we are hearing, as we are touching, and exploring, do any of these belong to you unconditionally? What is the impact? These aggregates are there. They are, everyone is bound to experience them. The moment I identify with any of the aggregates, the clinging takes place. It leads to suffering. Very simple. And whenever I let go of the experience, recognize these aggregate and allow them to pass away, it gives the freedom. These are the only two paths. We have only five aggregates that we can cling to, and the moment clinging happens, it leads to suffering. The moment letting go happens, it leads to freedom. And in general, it's all coming from something called dependent origination. Nothing is happening on its own. Everything has a cause, and because of that cause, effect is happening. Again, because of that effect becomes cause to something else. So that dependent origination is taking place. Here is at the high level structure, how it all happens. Let's not get into the details, it's a lot. At a high level, it says nothing exists independently on its own. Everything arises because of some other causation. Identity is a result of conditions. Identity or ego or I amness, whatever I think I am. It's a result of conditions. It doesn't exist on its own. And when conditions change, the self, the ego, the identity also changes. See, we are born in a certain family, in a certain culture, in a certain nation, and because of that, we became so and so. If we had taken birth in some forest where there is no contact with the external world, I would have been altogether different. There is a condition that caused me, collective condition, individual conditions that caused. When conditions change, automatically it all changes. If I were born in Africa in some Catholic family, I would have been altogether different. If I were born in some other, in Andaman, in some tribal family, I would have been altogether different. So it's all dependent origination. One of the most important teachings of Buddha. One who sees the arising and passing of these five aggregates. It helps to see deathlessness because everything is arising and passing away based on dependent origination. There is nothing to identify as I am this. That's the reason Buddha says very beautifully, when this is, that is. That when this is the cause, that effect will be there. Here we can take any of these elements, any of the 12 links for that. For example, if we start from name and form on the right side. As soon as there is a name and form, as soon as this body is there, six sense spheres appear. Five senses plus mind. They will appear, definitely. There is no option. Because there is a body, These six sense spheres appear. If there was no body, these six sense spheres would not have been there. And because these six sense spheres are there, contact happens with all those six. Because of the contact, feeling happens. Because of those feelings, Vedana, craving or clinging or avoiding happens. And because of that reason, I go on. The moment craving and clinging is nothing but identifying. I define myself so and so. I become, and that leads again to birth, aging, death, ignorance, etc. Here, when this is, definitely that will be there, effect will be there. From arising of this cause, arising of that effect will take place. There is no other option, it has to happen. When the reverse is also true. When this is not, that is not. When this is stopped, that will also be stopped. It's all inner exploration. Let's practice. Are these five aggregates under your control? As soon as there is a contact, it appears like I can decide and make a contact. Yes, that is possible. Sometimes we are deciding, okay, I want to touch this bottle, or I want to touch the laptop, this contact. But it is very less. Most of the contacts are happening automatically. More than 99% of the contacts are happening without our control. There are very few things which we control out of, say, 1000 elements, maybe around 10 things I might touch intentionally. All other touches are happening on their own. As soon as some touch takes place with any of the sense organs, not just physical body, with any of the sense organs, a sensation arises, followed by perception, followed by reaction and consciousness. This is bound to happen. Without contact, no sensation can arise. And without sensing something, no perception can arise. And without perceiving something, no reaction will arise. These are all dependent. And these are all happening on their own. Exploring. Let's explore sitting comfortably, closing the eyes, and see. Noticing that this body is breathing. Who is breathing actually exploring? The body requires oxygen for its survival. And body knows how to get the oxygen. Actually, the mind doesn't know. I don't know. But body knows how to get the oxygen. Whenever oxygen is required, it expands the lungs so that air comes inside. And body knows how to extract oxygen from that air. And it is supplied to every cell in the body. Am I breathing? Or is the breath happening on its own? Where is I in this process? This breath is happening whether I am conscious or not, whether I am sleeping or awake. whether I know it or not. It's happening since our birth. How about the thoughts? Is this thought under your control? Or emotions? Is this emotion under your control? Did you decide to have this emotion, or did it happen because of some dependent origination? Now, if you think you are producing the thoughts, let's explore, investigate the I behind the thought. Look for the thinker who is producing the thoughts. When we explore, we recognize there is no author or owner behind the thoughts. They simply arise. Are the thoughts in your control? If so, can you guess the exact next thought? It's almost impossible. There are tens of thousands of thoughts arise in a day. Most of them are arising on their own, except very few that we plan. Let us see an emotion and what is happening. Let us take an example of guilt. Choose a recent strong emotion of guilt. You did something wrong, you regretted it for it, you feel guilty about it. Let's take an example, a real life scenario, whatever happened in your life. It is safe with you, no need to share it with anybody else. A guilt due to a vocal or physical action. What caused the action? Exploring. There was an action, physical or vocal. What caused it? A thought. A thought came up that resulted in anger, which resulted in vocal or physical action. And then the mind realized it should not have been done. And there is a guilt, the feeling of guilt. There is dependent origination. This guilt did not happen in an isolated way. There was a vocal or physical action before it. And that also did not happen on its own. There was an anger associated with it before it. And there was a thought which resulted in anger. What control did you have on the thought? The thought also arose because of some dependency. The thought caused anger, the anger caused your vocal or physical reaction, that in turn caused guilt. What control did you have on the thought, and what control do you have on the emotion, be it anger or guilt? It's all happening on its own. And what control do you have on the sensations in the body? Because of the feeling of guilt or anger, there are related sensations on the body. Exploring. What control do you have on the five aggregates? Reflect on it. Observing these five aggregates, clearly recognizing them and recognizing the fact that this is not me. For example, contact. I am not the contact between the ear and the sound. I am not the contact between the tongue and, say, ice cream that caused the taste. In the same way, I am not the contact between the sense organ and the sense object. With every contact that comes to my attention, recognizing I am not this contact, and with the sensation that arises, I am not this sensation, it is just arising. And perception also arises, followed by it. Yes, this is the perception, but I am not this perception. It's arising on its own. And then there is reaction. Reaction happens based on my habit pattern, based on my belief system, value system, based on my mood. But clearly, I am not this reaction. It's happening on its own. And there is consciousness. Clearly recognizing the five aggregates and calling them, not identifying with them, say, calling them as, this is not me. That clarity of understanding is very essential. In general, observing a sensation and recognizing the fact that I am not this sensation on the body. There may be pain. I'm not the pain. There is an experience of pain. Yes. Observing a thought and recognizing this is not me. This is not mine. It has just arisen. Observing a mind state. For example, anger or calmness. Nothing good or bad about them. Both are just passing states. If I try to hold on to something and resist other one, it's a problem. Letting go, clearly recognizing I am not this mind state or emotion. recognizing it as anger, calmness as calmness, observing the breath and recognizing this is not what I am. Similarly, observing any of the identities that I have, like my designation, image, opinions, beliefs, values, knowledge, and recognizing there is no I in them, exploring it. Mainly the five aggregates. It requires a serious practice, but it is part of life. Contact is happening, arising, passing away. The sensations are happening, arising, passing away. The perceptions are happening, arising, passing away. The reaction is happening, arising, passing away. And there is consciousness. It happens approximately 60,000 times in a day. Can we recognize few of them? Maybe three or five of them. With any thought and any contact, there is nothing else that is happening. We are collecting the experience and storing it as I. The mind is collecting the information through these senses and storing the information as I. These five aggregates of clinging. When we clearly recognize there is no I in any of these five aggregates, it's a liberation. We just allow the things to happen on their own. There is no I in any of them. There will be the experience of anathema. Something arises. Immediately the mind recognizes there is no I in anything that is arising. I don't have any control on any of it. It's all happening on its own. There is no I. There is nothing to identify with. It's an important milestone in the spiritual journey of any serious seeker. As long as I identify with my identities, as long as there is a definition, I define myself. I am so and so. There is bound to be bondage. By observing clearly these aggregates, those bondages are broken away and liberation happens. The deathlessness is experienced. Because there is death only to whatever is arising that is passing away. Not to something that doesn't arise, that doesn't pass away. Slowly opening the eyes. Key takeaways. These five aggregates of clinging shape our sense of self, personality, I amness. They're all arising and passing away on their own. There is no doer, it's all happening on its own. There is only a false identity of I amness. In fact, there is nothing to identify with in this entire process of experiencing the five aggregates. This idea of the self or the I amness, personality is a process, not a fixed identity. This body itself can be called as bodying. It's just a process that's happening. It leads to wisdom of anatma, or as it's called in Pali, anatta. Moment to moment awareness shows impermanence and anatma. These are the key highlights. Okay. Anyone has any thoughts open for discussion? It was a serious topic, and most of the time I ended up speaking. Wanted to cover most of the elements today. Is it more confusing or hope made sense to some extent?
It was very deep, but I think the statement aggregates plus clinging and aggregates with, I mean, to let go freedom. I think that statement was quite clear with us. I think to digest these things, it might, we may have to listen one more time, I guess.
Yeah,
Excellent
listening to others.
explanation, sir.
Lots to think about, sir.
Definitely, just self-exploration. Nothing about books. You don't need that. So there's so much to explore inside. Thank you.
Namaste, sir.
Namaste, madam.
Namaste, sir. Thank you.
Namaste, madam.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The group is open for the feedback. I'm sorry if I created a lot of confusion. It is self-exploration journey. It's all here. We just need to start noticing what is happening inside, rather than how this world has taught us to see outside all the time. Just the five aggregates, recognizing them. All right, and please leave your feedback in the group, WhatsApp group, which is open for comments now. And as I keep saying, we are from Meta Mindful Presence, a space for personality development and holistic well-being. We conduct
Thank you, sir.
corporate training on leadership, personality development, using growth mindset, emotional intelligence, stress management, and the mindfulness or self-awareness based practices.